What's up, guys and gals? Strap on in because we're here for another episode of Mountain Blade Warband. In the previous episode, we defended Icamur successfully. Unfortunately, the kingdom of the Kyrgyz Khanate seems to have gotten like the largest bout of reinforcements ever to exist in the history of mankind, and so we just can't crack them. There's a nut there. We know it's there. Like, we're pulling a squirrel mode here. We know there's a nut there, and we're trying so desperately to crack it, but it's just like, nope. It will not be cracked. And so they're all holed up in their final capital now, waiting for us to just kind of piss off and go do something else. Oh, good, the Serenad's declared. I'll start selling lords back now that... You are not a bright cookie right there, man. I don't know what you were doing. He's just like, final combat! Ready to commit murder. That's all that he was wanting to do right there. Just get into battle and throw down. I'm going to have everybody follow me. We only got a second to arrange people before the fight begins. So let's go ahead and have infantry go forward. We're going to collapse them tighter. Archers, we need like back there. And now we send out the cavalry just to waylay them in the middle field so that they can eat a few more arrows. How are you going to get... That guy rode right into that spear. It was there, he knew it was there, and he just like rolled straight into it face first. What a whorish thing to do. Well, I suppose... Now that my troops are engaged in a state of death and dying. I always forget that when people join my faction, I've got to use their crappy troops in replace of my awesome troops that are super bitchin'. Yeah, this is not going to turn out well for anybody involved in that big dog pile of horses, men, and metal. Especially not that guy. Oh, that guy. I'm going to try in this episode to minimize the amount of time I spend on my back on the ground, because I feel like in the last episode somebody owes me money. The amount of time I've spent unconscious and just kind of having large objects pushed into me, I'm just like, God, you guys should be on the clock right now. It's ridiculous. And so, as you can tell, our terrible units that are coming from somebody are dying just in droves. Kill him off, there we are. Can't really be of much help in the big old dog pile anyway, so we might as well hang around out here just smacking guys in the face with our massive armored horsey. I like my horsey. My horsey's great. I named him Rutabaga. That was his name. We've had like 10 horses during the play of this game. I don't know which horse we're on now. We've got to be on horse like VII or something. Maybe even on horse IX. It's tough to tell. Couple more guys down. Ooh, swung before he did. That was a close one. That was one of those ones where I decided to play chicken. I could have lost decidedly right there. That could have been really, really bad for me. I would love to get rid of this guy on my tail. Kind of feel like a fighter pilot sometimes in this game when I'm flying around with like horses behind me just like, Iceman, no! Goose! They killed Goose, God. That was a movie that was solely about checking your watch and flexing, playing volleyball while flexing, flying planes while flexing, riding motorcycles while flexing. Basically, that entire movie, somebody was flexing in every single scene of that movie. I felt the same way when I watched End of Watch. I watched End of Watch the other day, and I was like, somebody is flexing right now in every single scene. Every scene, you've got somebody that's just like, bicep, tricep, just like trying to show off. Like, you know, most of us don't stand around flexing all day, right? If you do, more power to you, but, you know, seems like you might accidentally squeeze a fart every now and again if you did that. I mean, maybe it's just me being... Oh God, I feel like I'm just off topic in this episode. I feel like things are just not the way they're supposed to be. So infantry, take a bit more ground. Let's go ahead and have cavalry follow me. We're gonna have infantry take a bit more ground, like maybe come down to here. And then think about having archers advance as well. Brought the worst troops ever to this battle. Whoever this guy is, I'm like, you need to spend some time over at the gym or something. Your troops are looking emaciated. They're looking kind of lazy. Looking all lethargic and shit. They're just not ready for battle, man. And you need to get them there, especially if they're going to be on my side. I don't want them guarding my flanks. That's the last thing you want, is that guy, he can barely pick up the shield without his arms shaking. And he's on your side of the field. They're just like, damn it. I'm getting stabbed. It's a foregone conclusion. I'm getting stabbed today. Pencil me in. Just pencil me in at 1:30 for getting stabbed. Let's get it. If it can't at least decide when it's going to happen, let's put it in some kind of bracket of time right now. And dead. You dead. Fuzzy hat dead. Hopefully I didn't ruin the fuzzy hat with the blood spray. Seems like it might be costly. Although I think things made out of fur were probably a lot cheaper back in the olden days when you can just go out and like shoot an animal and turn it into a shirt. That's a skill that I think a lot of us have lost. I don't know how to go out and shoot an animal and turn it into a shirt. At bare minimum, I can maybe turn it into dinner if it's like a squirrel or like a rabbit or something. And clean a fish, that's about it. I think that's really the only thing you need to know how to clean nowadays. Oh my god, you're gonna make me fight round 2? Okay, so round 2, let's go. Did I get more knights this time? Oh god, I'm still fighting with whoever this is. His terrible, terrible army. There's like 5 different insignias here, so all of you guys have terrible armies. I blame you for everything terrible in the world. My dreams are dead. It's all your fault. Cavalry, please don't do that. There's not enough of you to justify this course of action. Let's go ahead and put like an infantry right there, put an archer right there, and then we will ride off in this direction, obviously. Either turning their flanks to the arrows, or if they decide to keep going after our inventory. God, if they keep going after our infantry, guess what? We're going to slam on into those flanks. Super nasty slap flesh style. Alright, so it looks like they're going to keep going for our front lines. Let's go ahead and give the cavalry the okay to fly on ahead. Or ride on ahead. I don't think flying is their mode of transportation right now. Riding definitely seems to be a bit more mechanically accurate. It's like every army has a million sharpshooters or marksmen. God. They have like the highest tier armies ever. To where they can actually like score kills on me. I don't like it when the enemy can like do unto me in kind what I do to them. I like it when it's just a one-sided fight, just me slaughtering. All day long, just death. Death, death, swing sword, death. That's how I like it to be arranged. And if it can't be like that, then I withdraw, sir. I withdraw. I don't feel like participating any longer. It's starting to get hot. Like, I can't go outside anymore. It's been disappointing. I try to do like a 3 to 5 mile walk every day. Just kind of get outside, see some nature, see some blue sky. Last couple days, though, it's been like 80 degrees. And I'm just like, yeah, this sucks. And I know it's going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Where I came from, see, I live like near the bay now, and it only gets up to like 85 on a really bad day, but where I grew up, it would get up to 121 pretty frequently, 120, 121, 111, and it was just like, oh my god, you just hid in your house all day. You didn't even go outside. You were like, we need milk, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to burn to death before I get to the car. I can feel my skin turning red as we speak. We're inside right now, and the sun is burning through the ceiling, and I can just feel it on my flesh. It's like, yeah... No, stop it, son. No, no. All right, well, let's go back to Ikamer. It looks like we're out of food, which is kind of disappointing. It's okay, though, because I've got lots of stuff to... Oh, they haven't even restocked. We've been in this vicinity for far too long. Let's grab all of the stocks that they can... Oh, I'm not that far off. I mean, I've got a lot of bread. I'm looking as though I'm about to run out of variety, which never seems to make people happy. What with being the spice of life and all. I always thought that if variety was the spice of life, you would end up with like a really weird tasting chili. Because you figure life just throwing all kinds of variety in there, just like, this doesn't go. Like, this definitely does not go in here. I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm pretty sure that this garnish does not go with this dish. They've restocked slightly over here. Not enough to make me happy yet. Let's go on up to Rivacheg. Kingdom of Vaegrs and the Kingdom of Nords have made peace. That's disappointing because the neighboring kingdom is now set up to open up a campaign on us. 8,000 more dinars. I paid bandits. I don't know if that was in the last episode, was it? I paid bandits like 20,000 dinars the other day just to leave me alone because I didn't feel like fighting a battle. That's how lazy I was. That is how lazy I was. This is what happens when you become rich in Mount & Blade Warband. You stop caring. You'd be like, well, I can save myself 15 seconds by paying 20,000 dinars. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just get it out of the way now. And then you do it and you feel so dirty deep down inside. You feel as though just your innards are coated with mud after you do it. I probably shouldn't be selling back people just yet, but he just got declared on by the Saranids, so I feel like we're in a decent position right now where he's not going to be able to do anything to us. Let's go ahead and do a scouting mission on back down to Tulga, and if we can use the Saranids as a smokescreen to take over a bunch of his castles and stuff, it's a little bit far down the line, unfortunately. I was hoping to really have all of their territory conquered by this episode. I was hoping like 5 more episodes we would have all of their territory encompassed inside of us. Unfortunately, their territory is neither inside of us nor really within reach right now. Also, I've lost a lot of my accompanying troops. They've just given up on me. They're like, you know what? Gurlad's hanging tight, though, and for that, Gurlad, I appreciate you. That's why Gurlad is the homie. That is why Gurlad gets all of the badass lands. I should probably just give the next kingdom... You know what, Tulga? It's yours. I'm giving it to Gurlad. Forget everybody else. I'm going to make Gurlad happy from now on. He never lets me down. Gurlad always gives me a kiss before he goes to sleep at night. The rest of you schmucks, though. Ridiculous. Cook you dinner. make everything nice for you, really make the world a wonderful place when you get home from work and you still can't do anything that I can appreciate on you. Shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. It's because I don't give out the lovin'. It's because I'm stingy. That's the real secret story that you don't hear behind the scenes. Bring a couple warriors right there. Alright, we're good. Let's ride on down and we will take Tulga. That's right, get on out of here, Noyan. You aren't welcome here. Oh, we have to be careful that we don't scare people into the city. If we scare lords into the city, it means we gotta kill more dudes, and I don't feel like killing more dudes. I think the rest of us just got wiped out, so I think with 320 men, we should be able to take 120. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to. Let's go ahead and get started. And if we see any large forces out on the distance coming towards us, well, we shall vary our strategy accordingly. I'm going to send the archers up over there, and actually what I'd prefer to do right now is let's just hang out along the bottom of the ladder, and we're going to let the archers just kind of use arrows for right now. I'm a little bit interested in whether this is going to be a superior strategy rather than just like sending people up there to die, as we have been in previous plays. So this time I'm going to test something different. Just kind of do a little bit of empirical validation to figure out why are you guys still going up the ladder. Tunnel vision. Ridiculous tunnel vision. Ooh, that's what you get for peeking. That's what happens. Have I piqued your interest, sir? Mwah. Mwah. Ooh, got him over the shield. He must have had bad coverage. That's a bad stat to skimp on, in my opinion. Always go with the extra shield coverage if you can get it. It's great not being able to get hit in the face even though your shield isn't covering your face. Archers seem to be doing a pretty good job. I may just do this for the remainder of my sieges. Save myself a bunch of melee units. I don't like it when my units get beat up. I've got a couple. I interchange them. They're detachable. But anyways, I prefer to keep my units from taking damage in between fights. It's disappointing that I can't hold the bowstring for a long... We need to invent that thing where it's like the little hook on compound bows that gets rid of all of the... strength, or I guess all of the pull of the bowstring. Once you draw it all the way back, it goes kink kink. My friend uses one when he goes hunting, and it's a pretty nifty invention. Pretty nifty invention. This seems to be way more efficient. I'm just going to do this from now on. And then we'll just retreat once we run out of arrows. Once I stop hearing the familiar thwip, thwip, thwip of my troops doing whatever it is they do behind me when I give them orders. I don't know. All I know is that I'm like, you know what, you guys do something, and I hear thwip, 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 and I never look because I'm always worried about it. Always concerned. How you guys doing on arrows? Doing all right on arrows? Need some more hot towels? Anything else while you're hanging out here? Oh, I'm out of arrows. That's weak. I'll take yours. He only got one shot off before he got himself deaded. Before he got geeked. I'm aiming way high today. I don't know what's going on with my aim, but I am definitely being screwy. The barbed arrows are nice because I think they do like +2 damage by comparison to the normal arrows. Definitely preferable if you're a bow user like I am. If you're a crossbow user, just use whatever. It's going to do an insane amount of damage no matter what. And then once you get your crossbow skill up to like 200, you should be able to reload so fast that it's almost as fast as a bow anyways. That's part of what makes Rodok sharpshooters so deadly. It's because I think natively they come with like 210 or like 250 crossbow skill, which puts them well within the range of being able to just be like pow, 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 pow with the bow. They're not quite as fast as, say, marksmen. God, that coverage is killing me right here. I'm trying to fire towards the back of him because that shield is eating it all up, but not much to be said here. Damn you, Splattercat. Aim better. There we go. I want my headshot before we leave. It's like I've been to the photographer. I need a headshot right now, otherwise I'm not leaving. These guys all appear to be holding weapons, so let's go ahead and retreat. We only lost 2 men, and they lost 50. So yeah, this strategy appears to be the superior solution to our Khergit Khanate problems. The superior solution to all of your Khergit Khanate needs. I'm going to lead all of my troops in a massive, amazing Lord of the Rings-esque assault on the walls, where we will stop just short and continue firing for another 25 minutes. Might be better to fire from right here. I feel like they've got a better view of the ones that are holding back. Definitely. And so if we can take Tulga, I'm going to give this thing to Gurlad just because I want to see how large I can get his armor, and B, because he's faithful and he always shows up to all of my sieges. Like, if there's one guy that I can be concerned with who's always going to be there for me, it's always Gurlad. And so I see a beautiful friendship coming along. If Gurlad wasn't married, in fact, I would have my character marry him because he's that awesome. I think he deserves it. I'm going to give him some courtesy play just because I think he's earned my goodies. He has earned my man-girl goodies. But he's married. And so anything else would be on the side and therefore unethical. I mean, you know how it goes with the nobility. I mean, they're all kind of doing something on the side. But I don't want Gurlad to end up losing his honor rating. His honor. I had to take a standardized test this morning, which was weird. I'm about to graduate as a senior from college. I've got like 2 weeks of school left, and I graduate, and I have to walk and do all that stuff. But anyways, I had to do the standardized test today, and it was the worst. Like, they give you these prompts. You have to write like a 5-page essay. It's not that big of a deal. It's like an exit exam. They want to make sure you're literate before you leave the college so you don't go embarrassing the school. And so I took the standardized test, and both the prompts were just so bad. I enjoy writing. Like, I love writing, and I love being humorous, and I love kind of using rhetoric and all that fun stuff. But God, the prompts were just the worst. Like, one of them was like, how did you learn to manage your time in college with the advent of digital smart technology? Like, suppose you were explaining to a freshman how to avoid spending too much time on technology and digital smartphones so as to pass all of your classes. Like, how would you describe that to them? And it was just like, this is a really bad question. And then the other question was one of those weird, like, ethnocentric questions that just, like, I don't feel like answering it anyways. Where it's just one of those questions like, why would you even ask this? It's just a dumb question. And I was just like, bad. I don't know. I didn't like the prompt. I didn't feel like it was a very good prompt, and I didn't feel like answering it. I didn't like either question. They only gave you 2 options. I felt like they should give you 4 options. 4 or 5, because the 2 there were really kind of, one was based on economics, which I'm not really incredibly interested in, and the other was just like this weird, vaguely, it's like something they would ask you in a humanities class your first year in college, and I was like, I don't find that to be anything. I think for a question to really pop for me and for me to like really dedicate myself to writing to it, I feel as though it needs to really just kind of have a little bit of bite to it, and I feel like either one did. So the standardized tests are just like, whatever. I just kind of filled in a bullshit answer for 4 pages and was like, alright, I'm bored, I'm leaving. From what I can tell, it was an over-glorified grammar test anyways. What it said on the front page is they didn't even care about your content. They were just looking at your sentence structure and your command of the English language and vocabulary. And you gained bonus points for using a ton of vocabulary, and you lost points for having bad sentence structure and using fragments and run-ons and all that 5th grade stuff. So I was like, whatever. This is taking forever, archers. Sooner or later, I think we will run on in. Yep, I think it's time. Let's do this thing. Everybody up the ladder. Rather than the former. If you run up the former, it's not going to work out great for you. That's kind of a bad place to situate yourself. It looks like we're about to take the wall straight off. Oh, maybe not. God. I think I'm actually going to stop giving myself cities. I'm just going to give them to the AI, because what it does is, I've been thinking about this in between episodes, is what ends up happening is every time I give myself a city, I end up having to spend like 3 or 4 hours in between episodes just grinding out units to fill the garrison. And I think that giving it to the AI is a better plan here, just because it saves me a little bit of time, and I've been having huge gaps in between my recording sprees of Mount & Blade Warband where I just can't do anything because I've got to sit there and farm up units. And if I was playing the game by myself, it wouldn't be so bad. But because I've got to think about your guys' entertainment while we go through the episode, it's one of those things where it's like, alright, well, let me suffer through 4 hours of grinding and leveling up units so that I can have another 600 men under my employ. I mean, I was honestly thinking about using cheat codes for a little bit, just to be like, here, I spawned myself 500 marksmen so that I don't need to do this anymore. But I felt like that was illegitimate, so I stepped away from it and just didn't do it. I mean, it's the same thing as what I'm doing anyways with the ultimate result, but it still feels shady to me for me to put that up on the internet. Somebody jumping in on like the 100th episode, not knowing that I spawned a bunch of units for myself, kind of undermines the legitimacy of the playthrough, and so I kind of balked at that idea. While the result is the same, I still feel like the ethical superiority of one is elevated slightly higher than the other. Or the, I guess the I would call it the, I don't know. The ethical podium, I guess. There we are. That's the word that I was kind of searching around for. Have we made it up there just yet? Come on, guys. I'm gonna fire an arrow up in the air like it's Cinco de Mayo and hope that it falls on somebody's head. I've had it happen before. I fired one straight up in the air a long, long time ago when I first started playing the first Mountain Blade, and the arrow landed like a few seconds later during the fight as the horses charged. It hit a knight right in the face. It was great. I got a ton of points for it, too. I think I leveled up like 20 times or something ridiculous like that. It was like, the difficulty of this shot is 1,000,000 points. You are the greatest. Sending screenshot. And I'm like, well, it was kind of an accident, but alright. I suppose I can take credit for it on the forums. Whatever. I think what I'm going to do is instead we'll abandon the siege, and I think the way that I've messed up this plan is that I need to bring the sharpshooters to the front of my formation so that they come in first. Then we bring the Huskarls up to the 3rd position. That way, I really, really want this city, so if we can take it before the end of this round, I think how I screwed up with fighting the Kyrgyz is that I really just sort of, although I am bringing other people's units too, that's the other problem that I hadn't considered. Doesn't look like there's that many guys on the wall. Let me scout this out for a second. I can't fathom how they're holding this position so well with just a few guys. We've been fighting here for almost an entire episode. Oh, I must have evacuated. These 3 guys were holding the line like Bamps then. I wish we probably shouldn't have put them to death. We should probably recruit them. So those guys are straight heroes up on the wall. They were cleaving through a dozen guys at a time. It's interesting that we haven't gotten that random event either that forces you to fight on the walls. There it is. We managed to capture ourselves a few more units. I think I'm going to go for sharpshooters. Yeah, definitely. So many units captured right here. A couple of Huskarls right there. I'll take those. Take some veteran footmen. I think that's about all we're going to be able to fit. And so I'm going to defer appointment. Actually, just give it to Gurlad. I don't even care. He can have all the lands associated with as well. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. And so Gurlad just got himself that and 2 fiefs. We'll see how large his army gets in the future. It's got to be quite enormous. I think it's probably a good plan to run these guys off at some point. I'm going to give him the assignment of patrolling around Tulga while I go get some horsemen, and then we'll run these guys off in just a minute. Hopefully they don't siege it like the second after we take it. So I think our expansionist agenda is over until the next episode. I think what I'll do yet again is I'm going to sit down and... Well, we haven't lost that many troops. I think I'm going to go down to the Rodox, though, and grab a bunch more bowmen, and we're going to use the same plan as we used before for every single castle from here on out. It might be a little bit boring. It may not be the most interesting, but it's definitely effective. It works out great, so... Saves me losing a lot of units to just kind of dumb attrition. But anyways, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for another episode in which we finally took Tulga. It feels so good to finally accomplish that, by the way. And so in taking Tulga, I think I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. Take a little nap, kind of rest for a bit. How you do, guys?